ESPN's Matt Bowen has identified two free agents that he feels will be the best fit for the Chicago Bears. We're going to talk about those and how I think they would fit. And then we're also going to dive into the mailbag with your voicemails. We're going to get into all that and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central. I'm the host here, Hayes. You guys can follow me right off the top at CEO Hayes, at CEO Haize. And so ESPN's Matt Bowen identified two key free agents that he feels will be the best fit for the Chicago Bears. And the first one up is Mike McGlinchey. And so this is a guy that we actually talked about before, offensive lineman before, who played pretty good, could take a pretty nice contract to bring in potentially. But this is a guy that we did have on our list earlier in the season when we did talk about potential Bears offensive linemen that they could go after. This is a guy that I don't necessarily hate, right? And knowing that one of our biggest concerns, if not the biggest concern in this offseason, outside of adding weapons, is to shore up that offensive line, to bring some more talent to protect Justin Fields. And he's a right tackle. Again, didn't produce the best last season, but this is a guy that has shown his ability to play great before. He's had his pass block rate in 89.6%, but that dropped to 81.2% last year. Still ranked fifth overall in the NFL. This guy's pretty damn good. And so, to come in, help shore up that offensive line, I still do think that, we're going to go after more veterans on that offensive line. So Matt McGlinchey definitely fits in there. Mike McGlinchey definitely fits in there pretty solidly. And that's why he was on one of my lists before over offensive linemen that we can go over. But let me know, what do you guys think about him and the money that it could take to bring him in? Next up, defensive tackle Draymond Jones. Now, Bobby, I believe, has been pushing this guy literally since we've been talking about it. He's ranked as the 16th best pending free agent in all of free agency. He's only 26 years old. He's a 3-tech. We know that Ryan Poles did try to go after a 3-tech last offseason in Larry Ogunjobi. That fell through. So this is another guy that Ryan Poles could go after. Could give one of his deals. He's really good in the pass and run blocking as well. Pass and run defense as well. He had 6.5 sacks last season and 28 pressures. His pass rate when lined up to the outside is 15.9%. So that's sixth amongst all defenders in the NFL. Draymond Jones can definitely come in, and regardless of if we go, younger in the draft as far as Will Anderson Jr. or Jalen Carter, he's a guy who could come in and play either way. 3-tech is very important in our scheme as well. So, bringing him in could definitely bode well for the Chicago Bears that I think, and, this is one of those lists that I pretty much agree with. There's been some wild ones. There's going to be some wild things to come out of ESPN and other sports analyst sites all this summer, but this is a list that I look at and I'll say, hey, this is pretty solid. It does get what the Bears need and what they could be looking for in free agency as well. We know, though, that the Bears have a lot of money and a lot of holes to fill in free agency, though, so we'll see what it ends up turning into. But overall, this has been a week of wild rumors. It's been a week of speculation. It's been a week of, the Justin Fields trade rumors coming up. And we got a couple of voicemails that actually touch on that. So we're going to go ahead and dive into our voicemail bag for today, which is going to be the majority of the show. Let's get into this first one. This one's from Brandon L. Jet.
Yo, Hayes, what's going on? It's Brandon L. Jet calling for the Mailbag episode. I had wanted to pick your brain up on thoughts about the Bears' offensive line, specifically their position at center. We all know that the Bears last year were not the best at the offensive line, probably one of the worst. And in regards to that, Sam Musselford did not cut the bill. What are your thoughts about Jason Kelce from the Philadelphia Eagles? And I know that a lot of moving parts need to happen. He is still thinking about retirement as far as him playing after the Super Bowl. But if the Philadelphia Eagles tend to go a different route and be younger, what are your thoughts about Ryan Poles giving him very similar to like a 1-year deal so that he can help mentor the offensive line that the Bears currently have? And he can play up in an offense and block for a quarterback that's very similar to Jalen Hurts. Now, I know that Justin Fields, he has a lot more assets as far as talent compared to Jalen Hurts, but Jalen Hurts is a little bit more proven, and he has a lot more experience. What are your thoughts of center Jason Kelce from the Eagles coming over for like a 1-year deal to kind of like send him with one final big payday in order to smooth out his retirement. Appreciate everything that you do. Talk to you later. Peace.
All right. And Brandon Eljet asks, Jason Kelce, if the Eagles go a different route, absolutely. Especially when, to Brandon Eljet's point over bringing a mentor in on that offensive line. If the Eagles decide to go a different route, if he does decide to come back, the retirement's been a talk. If he does do that, we can do much worse. Now, I know that we have some PTSD with trying to sign some veterans and it not quite working out the way that we wanted to last season. But Kelce is a player who brings in, Super Bowl experience at this point. Like I said, a elder statesman in the NFL, definitely somebody who can mentor and help guide the way. And I do think that on that offensive line, we are going to be looking for veterans more than anything because we already have two very young pieces up there. We could look to draft also in the offensive line, but I do think either as depth pieces or to fill out some of the starting position, there's going to be a lot of veteran players. So Kelce definitely fits the bill in every way, shape, and form, everything that I would want from an offensive lineman to come in. So I don't hate it at all. It just depends on the money, really. And it could be not necessarily a prove it deal, but as you said, we know that Ryan Poles loves the 1-year deals. It offers a chance to look at some players without, attaching long-term money. It also, in a way, bringing in, having the 1-year deals can be looked at as a way to preserve cap space. And the reason why I say that is if you sign veteran players to 1-year deals and you're not attaching huge amount of money, any long-term dead money, anything like that, that basically kicks the can and pushes it down the road to the next offseason where you can have that money again in free agency. Now, of course, it wouldn't be exact because contracts rise of other players on the team and things like that. But I like Kelce as a 1-year deal. I don't hate it at all. You guys can let me know what you think on that one down below. All right, let's get into this next voicemail. This one's from Rory.
My main man, Hayes. What's up, man? This is Brother Rory again, man. Haven't heard from you in a while. Well, you ain't heard from me in a while. Hey, man, I just want to say, man, I watched the video with you and Bobby and C-Dub, man, about, man, these sports analysts and these sports commentators, man, are absolutely batty, dog. I mean, their elevator doesn't go up to the top floor. They cheese has slid off their cracker. They crazy, man. They say some of the most absurd things I've ever heard before in my life. Talking about trade Justin Fields for Bryce Young. When we got so many needs on the team, you know what I'm saying? When you could trade that number one pick back for so many, different options that we can have and so many different, ammunition we can put on our team and fill those holes and those voids, you know what I'm saying, that we can get back for that number one pick. We can get like a king's ransom for that number one pick. And you mean tell me we're going to trade Justin Fields for Bryce Young, somebody that's under 6 feet, 100 and what, 80, 190 pounds? Dude, one of them 200 and some pound linemen hit that boy and fold him up. Dude, it's a wrap. He's going to be on the line most of the time, you know what I'm saying, being injured from the sideline. So I hope they got a pretty good backup for Bryce Young because he's small. They will have to add some weight on that boy. But still, he's not better than Justin Fields. Are you crazy? After all the stuff that we've seen that Justin Fields has proven, you know what I'm saying, with the little that he had, you know what I'm saying, bad offensive line, no number ones to throw to, no weapons, defense sucks, and he still made splash plays. You still see, flashes of greatness in this kid. And you want to trade him? Man, they stupid, bro. I swear I'm tired of the trade talk to myself. They are stupid. No, holler at your boy, man.
Traded Fields for Bryce Young rumors and sports analysts, bro. You hit already know how we feel about it here. I've said it, especially going into off season, and when you have the team that has the most cap space and the number one overall pick, which doesn't happen a lot of the rumors are going to be centered around what the Bears are going to do. And naturally, it's going to go to a quarterback who showed some amazing flashes, but a lot of people still doubt on just what Justin Fields can be as a passer, right? And, when you look at just the opportunities and how this offense was run and things like that, it's fair, right? Not that you don't have to agree with it, but you can understand. Understand it's in agreement are two different things. So I understand, I really do, why the trade rumors about Justin Fields kicks up, especially to the national media, the media that's not necessarily ingrained in Chicago sports day in and day out. I completely understand why that conversation stirs up, but some of it's just stupid and idiotic. Some of it just doesn't make any sense, and some of it's just a blatant opportunity for headlines. And, even here, when me, Bobby, and C-Dub, when we get to talking about something and one of us offers a counterpoint, we're going to say, you know what, just for the nature of conversation, right? I think I'm somebody who's very good at that. I will say just for the nature of conversation to make sure that it's not something I'm reporting on, not something that I think should happen. But hey, because this is the world and nothing's 100%, let's give it a chance. Let's give a conversation around it just in case it does happen. But yeah, the Bryce Young and Justin Fields thing, it's frustrating. But those rumors are going to persist up until the draft, up until the Bears announce a trade, or a trade is announced and finalized. You're going to get the trade Justin Fields rumors. You're going to get the rumors around what the Bears are going to do with the number 1 pick. You're going to get the Bears involved in every single wide receiver free agent or trade that could become available. We're going to be involved in those talks. It makes it interesting to hear our team talked about that much, but we do have to know how to filter out what's real from what's fake. All right, let's get into this next voicemail. This one's from B Mace.
What up, Hayes? It's your boy B Mace. I just want to say I'm a big fan of the show. I want to hop straight to it. I definitely want to keep Justin Fields. I understand all the hype, so we be able to get some good picks and good trades. But they need to start focusing on getting that young man right in the head so he ain't got to know other thoughts about leaving or going nowhere else. I understood his comments about playing in the Dome. I can't wait for Arlington Heights to open up, and especially when Chicago starts hosting the Super Bowl. But that's way down the road from now. But yeah, they need to focus on in the draft. Definitely get that boy Jalen Carter first, and then work on that offensive line. It's definitely a line that's hurting this boy. We need him to stay around for a long time. I know y'all talked about this a bunch of times about the O-line, but y'all can go ahead and add on to that what y'all think about the O-line helping out Justin Fields, and keep doing a good job on the show, fellas.
All right. Taking Justin Fields' comments out of context, Justin Fields' comments on playing in a dome, I don't see as a negative. I do see that they took that and tried to run with it, especially Skip and Shannon. And it's like, come on, man. Like, let's be real here. Let's just be 100% real. I think most players would want to play in the dome. Who wouldn't want to play in something that's climate controlled? Who wouldn't want to play in something that, the conditions can be better controlled than what Soldier Field is a rough condition to play in. Now, again, that's a difference from saying, it's just, come on, man. The Bears are keeping Justin Fields. That's what that's just it. It is what it is. I'd be more surprised if the Bears do trade Justin Fields, and if they do, best believe I'm going to be here talking about it, and I'm going to say, hey, maybe clearly I was crazy, but I highly doubt that the Bears are going to trade Justin Fields. I highly doubt that it's anything more than letting the conversation go. So then maybe if it helps drum up any other trade interest, and it makes anybody up a deal, that's really what it is. This Bears team seems committed to Justin Fields, in my opinion. I even think when you look at the growth of the offense, as far as like adding in design run plays, that's clearly help the development of Justin Fields. And we know that Justin Fields needs an offensive line to really be able to be evaluated as a passer. That's just is what it is. Now, your comments on Jalen Carter and the O-line. So Jalen Carter, I'm not going to be mad at either Will Anderson or Jalen Carter. I understand the people who say, well, Will Anderson's the better player right now. Look at his numbers, right? And they say, look at Jalen Carter's numbers, and they'll try to make a conversation and argument for why we shouldn't draft Jalen Carter because of it. And, I understand that, right? Sometimes potential is the harder thing to visualize. So, but Jalen Carter all day for me. And the O-line, what do I think about the O-line? The O-line that's the thing that needs the most help. That's the thing that needs the most assistance for us to truly evaluate what we have on this team in both Justin Fields and the receiving core. We need to be able to protect the quarterback and give him a little bit more time, even for him to get quicker on his decision making. Guess what? If you allow him more time, he can slowly start to become quicker on that decision making and where to go with the ball. Because that's a thing that a lot of Justin Fields detractors use when they talk about him is, how long he holds onto the ball and things like that. And it's valid, but let's identify why those things are happening. So the O-line definitely has to be addressed in a major way this offseason. And I do think that we are going to see the offense be even more efficient or just efficient in the passing game with that improved O-line. So that's my opinion. You guys, again, can let me know what you guys think down below if you're on the YouTube side. Let's get into the last voicemail. This one is another one from Rory.
Hey, one more thing. This is Rory again, man. Just want to say, man, I agree with you 100 and 1,000%, bro, about they take Justin Fields' word out of context. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, man, that I can stand Shannon Sharp. and I can't stand Skip Bayless. The only thing I agree with Skip Bayless is on is about the Jordan and LeBron debate. You know what I'm saying? Team Jordan all day, every day. LeBron is not the GOAT, so I mean, I agree with him on that. You know what I'm saying? But that absurdity to sit there and say that, oh, Justin Fields, talking his way up out of Chicago because he wants a dome. So everybody else can get a dome, you know what I'm saying, but Chicago. He doesn't deserve a dome. And, because he doesn't want to play in the cold. What's wrong with that? And they like, man, did you hear what he said? He's about, the cold weather plays in your advantage and, the wind coming off the lake. Bruh, I don't know if you've been to Chicago. Arlington is nowhere near the lake, bruh. So you ain't going to have that wind factor like, coming straight off the lake at Soldier Field. Soldier Field's right by the lake. So that's why you get that wind chill factor and that wind. You know what I'm saying? Arlington's nowhere near the lake. So you ain't going to get that same effect. So he sounds dumb right there. Man, like I said, they took the man's word out of context and they put in this narrative that he's talking his way out of Chicago like he doesn't want to be in Chicago. Man, it's just crazy. The rumors and things that's swirling around Justin Fields that he don't want to be in Chicago. He want to be somewhere warmer and he wants a dome. And, man, come on, man. If anybody else can get a dome, why not Chicago? That's my thing. Everybody else can get a dome. We can get a dome too, bro. We deserve that. You know what I'm saying? We deserve the best. We didn't put up with a lot. We finally got some franchise star quarterback, which we never had. You know what I'm saying? And we see the potential of getting it. You know what I'm saying? Having it and attaining it and developing it. Man, give the man what he wants. You know what I'm saying? That's not asking for too much. Give the man what he wants, man. That's not asking for too much. If they can get it, man, you know what I'm saying? I think Justin Fields deserves it. You know what I'm saying? Holler back at your boy.
Great point here. Taking Justin Fields' words out of context, that's what news does. It is what it is, and that's why you have some athletes that just don't like talking publicly because they know it's the high probability of something that they say be tried to turn into negative and being taken completely out of context. It really sucks when you think about how often the media does that to athletes and does that to sports figures in general. One little thing will be said, or one little head tilt or something, or body language change on the field or the court, and now they're trying to make the narrative that you're like you hate your coach or something, right? That's just the way that it goes. The moment that came out of Justin Fields' mouth, it was going to be used by someone. I'm not surprised it was used by Skip Bayless because we all know Skip takes the low-hanging fruit every time he gets the chance. In my opinion, that's just my personal opinion. He's still an entertaining dude, still has done great things here, but he will take the low-hanging fruit more times than not. And that's just really what it boils down to, man. It's nothing wrong, as you said, with not wanting to play in the cold. That doesn't, you can not want to play in the cold, but still learn how to play in the cold. It's just something you don't want to do, right? So, it is what it is. And Justin Fields is going to learn. I mean, if he hasn't already, the cold is part of it. So, but yeah, being in Arlington Heights and being in Arlington Park, the cold is going to be completely different there anyway. So those things are going to change regardless. But it just is what it is. It was just another thing for the media to take and turn into a story that really didn't need to be one. But those are my thoughts. That's it for today. Our biggest mailbag episode yet. Thank you for everyone getting those voicemails in. I can't stress enough. Get those in every single week, especially during the offseason. We want to hear from you guys as moves start happening and things start shaking with this team. We want to hear from you guys and get a beat on the pulse of Bears Nation to see how everybody's feeling as the Bears go through the offseason. So make sure you guys send in those voicemails, emails, texts, or whatever for that. But that is it for today's episode of Chicago Bears Central. You can follow the show at Chi Bears Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text and or voicemail, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. Like I like to end every episode on, bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.